Hello everybody, this is another part of our journey in this mysterious The House in Fata Morgana game. So probably we almost, maybe, we almost reach uh, the end of the second part, I think. But it can be different. It's a big journey, like any other visual novels, because visual novels, most of the time, not short. Sometimes they are huge. For example, Fate. Oh, this brief thought about, maybe I need to play Fate State Night because in anime adaptation they only adapt properly. No, maybe not properly, but uh, for many people, enough. They put enough efforts for the second and the third route in terms of adaptation from the Ufotable studio. But first, route, uh, if I understand correctly, Root of Saber was adapted by another studio, and that's it's not that great. So I still don't know how it goes with this part of the story, but Fate is too Fate State Night is too huge to even think about playing this on streams. Even if I try to reach only one ending. Yeah, it's too much for me. So, let's return to our current visual novel and probably finish this part of the story and move to third part. But who knows? Who knows? His physique drifted erratically between human and beast. If he accepted himself as human, it might cause memories better left buried to return to him. If he accepted him as a beast, in exchange for his memories, he would no longer be able to rejoin human society. And hello, Dickies. Totally forget about greeting viewers. Um, sorry. The white-haired girl fervently, supported him in these precarious times. I was quite amazed. I had never imagined she would grow to be such a strong woman. Nevertheless, God is a cruel master. For what strength he gave her spiritually, he took an equal part from her physically. Though she persisted day in and day out to stay by the man's side, one day she suddenly fell ill. With her in the throes of a high fever and not knowing the cause, he fell into perpetual panic. There was no medicine in the mansion, and probably no villager um, can go to the mansion with medicine or something like this because everybody afraid of this mansion. Then who knows? In the village, they probably get some doctor because without it, it's kind of hard to achieve suitable life. I don't know. They could hardly manage to put together sufficiently nutritious meals. Though there was no medicine, maybe there was something else that could make her feel better. However, everything he could think or required him to leave the house. Leave the house? But why? Hey. Is there anything you would like? Anything I would like? I'm considering visiting the village. I see, you are going to the village. Uh, Not a great idea after you killed so much people earlier. I thought I might be able to get some medicine. I will prefer to bring a doctor here, but no one will come if they learned you were in this mansion. So, we was planned to put in a disguise to enter the village as a person. The white-haired girl smiled when she heard his idea. She had, after all, always wanted him to think of himself as human. Maybe your mate can go to the village, but as we think, she may be part of this mansion in general, so she can't go to the village because it's not possible. However, because she was so pure-hearted, she did not comprehend the full extent of the slaughter he had confessed to committing, the revenge he had taken on those who had chased him around, how sinister his cackling and furious hair ripping. She did not grasp just how serious it was. She had feigned that Bestia had kindness in his heart. If you cannot get any medication, then buy me some oranges, please. Oranges? This is a land blessed by the sun. You shall be able to find some wonderful fresh oranges. Will that make you feel better? Yes, it should. Okay. Bestia's mind was made up. He will don the skin of a human for her to protect the peace he's had. He would return to the place that had left him with many painful memories. It was to him the source of his fear. Whenever he let his guard down, their shouts would play back in his mind. Bestia! 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 Hideous beast! Though he had physically conquered the people who lived there, Bestia's memories of the village still haunted him. But her health meant more to him than any of that. He was willing to cast aside his fear if it means the white girls would recover. The girl still in her bed, he made his way out of the mansion. It can be really interesting interaction with the villagers. He crossed the overgrown forest, pushed forward one step at a time, all while trying to brush aside his apprehension. And until he arrived at the village. This is where they called me a beast, where I was almost killed. And there I killed them. I look different than I did then. Really different or not? Because, for example, not Jose, Javi can recognize you. So I am dressed differently too, but can I play the part? Can I act a convincing enough human? I have no choice, there's no other village. I can let her die. Excuse me, could you answer a question for me? A village man is looking at me, only for a moment, but for me that moment is torturously long. A faint look of panic crossed his face, perhaps in fear of my appearance. He's staring at me. Will he point his finger and call me a beast? Will the other villagers come to kill me? However, haven't seen you around here before. He didn't recognize me. Yes, I come from a faraway land and I am unfamiliar with this area, so... Haha, you're dressed like a nobleman. On a secret trip or something? Something like that. You look really pale, though. Searching for a doctor? Ah, yes, but not for me. My companion has come down with a fever. Sorry to hear it. Well, I'd love to introduce you, but he is out right now. And he won't be back for a few days. I see. And where might be able to buy fruit? There's a shop just around that corner. Thank you very much. Don't mention it. Do take care, traveler. It's dangerous out there. So if you wearing these fancy clothes and can speak their language, you are not a beast anymore. It's sad. But he can pretend to be a human after what you've done. I've done. I'm starting to attract attention, but not the same kind as before. They don't look at me with revulsion, hatred, or furious indignation. They are simply curious. The village feels different than the last time. Could it have changed this drastically? Or it is because I really did look like a beast then, and now I look like a human? I don't know. Excuse me. Me? Yes? I would like to buy some fruit, some oranges. Oranges, alrighty, just a sec. The fruit vendor doesn't recognize me as the beast either. Any other year and there'll be a lot of plumper than this. But this year we've had the end of the war and this whole mess with the beast, but it's just been crazy. If you'd like, how about you come back in a few years and try out oranges again? They'll be several times better, I assure you. I'll keep that in mind. You bet, that'll be. I'm sorry, I don't have any local currency. Will this suffice? Suffice? How? No good, I take it. No. On the contrary, it's hardly fair for you to trade in a jewel for a few oranges. That's all I have to offer. I hope you can exchange it for money. Sure. You nobles are something else. Noble? Aren't you? Though if you wander around dressed too well, you put yourself in danger. You might find yourself stripped bare by a bandit, or perhaps even catch the attention of the beast. The beast? Everyone mentioned the beast. They speak of me. Have you heard the tales? I have not. There's a beast den not too far from this village. It's attacked before, and we've been living in fear, never knowing when it might attack again. But that's all ends today. Oh, interesting. The men have finally found their spines. They all got together and went out to exterminate it. What? And you've never guessed who's responsible. A kid, a little boy, is spearheading the attack. Never would have expected a little kid who to whip all our lazy, cowardly men into shape. The boy is the only one who knows where the beast den. Hold on. What about your oranges? The men have banded together, and they are going to kill the beast? Why now? Why when I am not there? I am the beast, I am right here, I am what you are trying to hunt. The only person at the mansion right now is her. He regretted not asking the fruit vendor how long ago the party set up. Fruit, though, was good. Would that no knowledge have done him? He had to hurry back regardless. The sun was beginning to set, draping the surroundings in a deep blackness. As if to keep him from returning home, the night wrapped its hand around his head, covering both eyes. In what direction did he have to head to return to the mansion? He stormed through the forest, and eventually the mansion appeared before him like the world fading into view after a dream. Bestia was the dampest in the night, blowing through the overgrown toward the house. Please, make it in time. I need her. I need peace that she provides me. The last thing I wanted for her to die. In the blink of an eye, he was through the door, charging down the mansion's halls. He could not sense anyone else inside, though. All they could hear was the whoosh of the wind blowing into the house from somewhere. It seems the window was open. Where are you? Where have you gone? Answer me, please answer me. He cried out the girl's name again and again until his throat was sore and his voice hoarse. But she did not respond. Maybe she just sleeping? At the moment. He rushed into her bed chamber. Hey! Hey, hello! Where are you? Where are you? Answer me! The man swung his head back and forth so hard he thought he might break his own neck, and then he made to look down, his sleep falling on his tailbone. He felt something slick on his hands, a sensation he would recognize anywhere. The liquid was still warm. No, that cannot be. It can't. It can't. It cannot be. Muttering incoherence, inconsiderably in fear, he crawled back through the door into her chamber and into the corridor. Like a genuine beast, he followed the trail of slippery fluid on all fours. The trail glimmered like a red wine. It stretched down the hall past the living room, smeared across the floor like it had been wiped down with a mop. The man crawled and crawled and crawled until at last he reached the stairs leading down to the cellar. The rabbit trail continued. From beyond the door he could hear men's voices. Ah, 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 ah! With the howl, the man stumbled down the stair, throwing open the wooden door. His first impression was that the stench of blood was suffocating. And indeed, there he discovered the white-haired girl. He found himself unable to even scream. Her once porcelain skin was no longer revealed sickle pale. It was now the bloodiest color of dirt. She was sprawled haphazardly out on the cellar floor, drawn blood stain around her half-open mouth. And those lips were naturally lacking their former rosy shape. Her body was covered with an array of wounds, but the most prominent was the man's singular sword standing tall in her chest. This is the bestie. He doesn't look like the same. It's him. But why they try to hurt this girl? Because she lived here? He's the same guy, he is the bestia. Several villagers surrounded him at the behest of a young boy. He's gotten himself dressed up all proper and fancy, but good clothes does make him a good man. Isn't that right, you bestia, no? You murderer! Ah! Why did you kill her? 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 Why? You want to know why? Her death was an accident, I'll say. I feel bad about what happened, but any woman who would live with a man like you must be a witch. And again, for her, ended up like a witch sentence. Does that hurt? Are you hurting right now, you bestia? That may be how you understand. You not only stole my parents and friends from me, you reaped the last shard of hope I had from my hands. Do you get it? Do you finally understand how I feel? How do you know how it feels to have someone you care about taken from you? She, Pauline, was desperately trying to find you. Why? Why would you kill someone too devoted to you? Do you understand what you've done? I'm asking you a question, you got the murderer. I see. And now I have nothing left. What? The man stepped forward, arms perfectly calm. His panic had vanished, as if it were never there. His eyes were disturbingly vacant. Perhaps the sorrow had overpowered him, feeding his heart into quiet submission. No, that was not the case. Through his eyes were empty, a faint smile spread across his lips. The transition was swift, as as Fata gear had switched in his mind. Though. The boy and the other villagers were frozen in place at the sight. Before long, the man was standing before the deceased girl's body, and then he pulled the blade from her chest. I knew it. I really was a beast, and what I wanted was a feather. What were you yammering about? Didn't you care about that woman? Didn't you choose her over Pauline? Who you then screw aside and butchered? What is wrong with you? What was she to you? She was my serenity. But she's dead now, and there's nothing I can do about it. Peace, calm, tranquility. The man's behavior was downright eerie, causing the boys to flinch back, believing he had everything taken from him and could not possibly lose anything more was. I imagined what had allowed him to stand up to the beast, the source of such creeping fear. Yet now he found himself unable to move. He found himself in the face of such an incomprehensible creature paralyzed with fear, and the villager was seemingly dumbstruck. Not even I could understand his behavior. What the hell was wrong with you? How can you laugh at this? I don't get it. How indeed? I wonder myself. I don't know either. But you know what? It doesn't matter anymore, because every last one of my anchors has broken off and sunken into the sea. It's hard to laugh so much. Just damn it, get moving. Kill him. I'll slaughter every last one of you. Ah, yes. My whole life, I've always wanted to kill. What is that affliction you with such madness? Losing your memory in the shipwreck? The abuse and insult you're suffering in the villager hands? Or what is it, your grief at not being able to return to your homeland? No, none of those were the root. You were always like this. You always bore those twisted desires. You held these deep, constant urges to cause other harm. That is your essence. The real you hidden beneath the mask of sincerity. The true beast was your heart. The beast was a convenient skin for you to wear. You wanted to be a brutal, savage murderer. You never really loved the white-haired girl or the black-haired woman for that matter. You were merely attached to them. Fixated on the idea of a world of tranquility. You used this piece to anchor yourself, not to prevent you from drifting off into the ocean of your desires. You yearned to cause pain, while Elsa hungering for the opposite, a calm life. You idolized this idolized life, spent in quiet harmony with another, because you knew just how difficult it would be for you to attain. Far more difficult for you than satisfying your craving, but not impossible. I personally had hoped you would find peace with someone rather than descend to the savagery. It may have only been superficial, but it would have been very human. But ultimately, peace slipped through your fingers, and no one was felt to suppress your desires. You cannot, after all, hold them back yourself. What a tragic man. What a hopeless man you are. So he was a beast all the time, and human was mask for that creature. The door to the cellar swung shut. You had fallen to the floor at some point, unable to bear the stench of blood. The maid stood behind you, her arms wrapped around your shoulders. The maid's voice was chillingly gentle. That was quite horrific, wasn't it? Are you feeling unwell, master? Oh my, you are shaken, master. Fear not, I assure you the beast will not come through the door. I am here for you, and I will continue to hold you for as long as you need to settle your nerves. Oh dear, you feel like you might freeze in my arms. And are really that cold? I cannot tell my own temperature. You wish to know what happened to Best after that? I could open the door once more and show you. But I have no intention of knowledge tossing you back into that den of horrors. He lost the rest of his humanity, becoming a holy beast. But, to tell just a little more of the tale, it's my understanding that the entire village was ravaged shortly thereafter. He was bewitched. He was bewitchingly talented swordsman. Not a single person living in that village could stand up to him. In the wound's memories you saw, he was a gentleman, yes? But even the mildest of men can change. Though personally I believe that without an element of monstrous somewhere within, a man cannot become a beast, regardless of that what they push him in that direction. Do you follow? Now tell me, master, have you remembered anything? Oh dear, I was afraid of that. I am a remarkably patient mate. I shall accompany you for as long as you require. So do please find your memories. Now let us head to the next door. The mansion is quite large, so hold on my hand. Hold on to my hand. We will not want to get separated. Yeah, it was a bloody part of the story. About the man who not lost himself. No, hasn't lost himself. He probably found out, found his true nature without masks, without trying to cover his desires and urges. He just become a true self, true form of him. It's sad. It's sad because two other girls probably loved him. But this story, it's definitely not a happy story. And by my short knowledge about visual novels, they prefer doing it with some kind of a shock content, with twists. And this story from the beginning seems to be dark, with some bright moments, but in general it's more like a, not Shakespeare's tragedies, but with similar direction, I guess. You and the maid traveled down the dimly lit hall, passing by the mirror once again. The light from the candle in the maid's hand was the only thing had reflected it in. The maid herself did not appear. However, just as you were about to avert your eyes, you thought you caught a glimpse of white hair. You heard the voice echo in the darkness, and when you turned to face the mirror again, the glass was the color of obsidian, as if it had been painted over. The voice seems to be coming from beyond the mirror. The maid did not turn back, evidently having not heard anything. You extended your hand, averted your eyes. It's a choice. Second choice from the beginning when I have a choice to greet, probably say hello to the mate or not. I try. You extended your hand toward the darkness overrunning the mirror. The second your hand brushed against the surface, the tips of your fingers sunk into it. And the next thing you realized, your whole world was sinking into darkness. You could hear a voice. I am the witch. Giselle? It's getting foggy. Look like it might rain. Maybe we should take a little break. You want to keep going? Oh, alright then. This deep in the forest? Thank you very much. You must be tired after such a long journey. This is the mansion I am looking for, yes? He could have said something. Oh well. I should get going, I guess. Does no one live here? But if that's the case, then why was I? Such a big door. Please open. It's not locked, I guess. I wonder if the window's open. Darn, not a hint of light. Hello? Is everyone here there? Please don't tell me it's actually abandoned. I suppose I can't know without looking around a bit more. What do we have here? Drapes? I see a little light beyond. It's so pretty. It looks like an angel. Why will someone cover this up? It's beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be... Please do not touch the drapes. Or the windows. Michelle. I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but I did announce myself. Is this your mansion? It is. Thank goodness. I was afraid it was deserted. I suspect you would have preferred it if the house were abandoned. Oh, not at all. I would be scared to death staying in the dark mansion all by myself. I'm sorry. Not ill will intended. But I do think it could do with some light. That way you could see where you were walking. And I'm sure this room would look splendid illuminated. Not necessary. I make do perfectly well as things are. How can you see when it's so dark? I have an abundance of candles and all for lamps. I am not in want of... Or maybe Michael? Michael? I don't know exactly. But these hairs and these eyes, I am not in one of means of creating light. It's not it's not your place to criticize my lifestyle. If you need light, you are free to leave. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There is a village not far from here. Trade it for food and then make your way to a longer town. I am not longer able to freely return to the city. I cannot go back there. At least it's normal music. Yeah, it's really beautiful, but maybe too loud for me. So try to switch attention to the music from the text. I cannot go back there. Please, don't chase me out. I see. And do you ask this of me, aware of how people refer to this mansion? They say that the witch lives here. Not merely a witch, a cursed witch. If you remain here, you too shall likely suffer your own destruction. You are worried for my well-being? Which are now my minds is made up. Which will strike you first, I wonder, regret or the curse? You seems to be doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real, very much so. It's not a legend, not a fairy tale. The witch name was Morgana. Morgana. It's me. And we've returned from the mirror. What was that? Giselle? Oh my, what is the matter, master? Why are you just standing in place? There is nothing there. The maid did not seem to have seen anything. You made to ask her about the scene you had just witnessed? Oh, what the? Master, you look like you've just seen a ghost. Ghost is not so creepy as this. What? What is the matter? This boy? Morgana is remember the evil witch from the work about the king's art. Yeah, I remember this too. Morgana. Funny to say, also right now I remembered that I guess a love interest from Darkling Duck called Morgana. Darkling Duck. I don't know the text from the in English. Only whistle here, something like that. So yeah, master, what the matter? How about a little rest before we moved on? You do not wish to remain here? Still not fond of mirrors? Still not fond of mirrors? Yes. Now let us be off. I too dearly wish for you to return to your old self as soon as possible, master. If you desire to push onward, then you could hardly be happier. Now follow me. Vortex. I tried to find a word for this. Vortex probably can be useful for that. Or maybe something else. You follow the maid lead, returning to the living room. From there, you climb the set of stairs, your hands sliding through the dust that had settled on the ebony railing. On the ebony railing. When you stepped out of sight of the mirror, the maid returned to normal. You had been on the verge of remembering something, but you were no longer in a position to be concerned about such things. Sorry. For the chill in the air within the mansion seemed to have intensified. Standing at the end of a long corridor, you asked the maid, "When was the mansion built?" I would imagine you know more about it than me, master." "Yes, I know. You have not yet regained your memories. I was simply teasing you. I have been a servant of this hound for many, many years, but the truth is, I do not know everything about it. All I know is that the mansion is cursed, and that it had brought misfortune upon its residents, since times of old. I can make a conjecture as to when it began, but I believe you should figure it out for yourself, master. There is no guarantee my perspective is the correct one. Now let us proceed." You and the maid traveled down the dimly lit corridor. While the layout of the house was the same as in the eras of the flaxen-haired boy and the beast, the bleak, colorless gloom felt incredibly dreary. On the wall partway down the hall hung a painting. The painting, which depicted the beautiful landscape, was oddly entrancing, but you did not have time to appreciate the artwork. You handed your hand in the maid's. You passed by the painting. Before long, a door came into sight at the end of the hall. This door is what I would like to show you next, master. Listen closely. Do you hear the voices? Lively but rough, energetic but coarse. What lies beyond this door is neither a period of elegance and abundance, like the first, nor one of ruin and savagery like the second. Technology and culture had become quite developed. Cameras and photography had been invented. It was a time of great progress and many breakthroughs. And for that reason, those who lived in it were constantly seeking to try new things. The tale I am about to tell you is one of a man who wagered everything on his ambitions. I hope that what you see, master, will stir something in your heart. Now, through the door we go. Please do not let go of my hand." The maid opened the door. Colorful balls bounced around atop a long dark green table. One man dressed in black and standing by the billiard table turned toward the door. The room was inundated with eye-watering cigar smoke, causing you to squeeze your eyes shut. The third door. Finally, the third part of this story. 1869. 1869. That era was a red race of innovation and development. The smoke was so thick you could hardly see more than a few feet ahead of you. I could compare it to the dense morning fog, but it might give you the impression of beauty, and there was little of that to be found in this haze. Do you see the silhouettes of several men in the smoky room? The one in the middle, the one looking in your direction, master, was the present master of the house, Jacopo. His name was Jacopo, and though he dressed in such fine attire, I sincerely doubt he understands how splendid the furnishing left in the mansion truly were. I am a faithful servant of this house, and I will not for the life of me dare speak ill of my master. However, this is time long past. I imagine God will be so kind as to turn a blind eye to a little bit of honesty. I was not terribly fond of my master back then. He had wavy hair the color of over dried tea leaves, a piercing gaze, an arrogant smile, and he wore a hat that made him look rather how haughty. He put his trust only in money, renown, and ran. He loved the only iron and steel that had revolutionized so many industries. He had not the slightest bit of love or care for other people, and at the very last, did it what I believed at the time. Take a look around the room, master. Jacopo had remodeled it into a recreation area. A billiard table set in the center of the room, and the downward facing light hanging from the ceiling were special made. The light shone upon the dark green stand like a stage. Cigars and bourbon lined glass cases installed in place of bookshelf. The cases were always fully stocked, their content available to partake of readily. At that particular moment, as he had many times before, Jacopo had invited several friends and acquaintances, and they were entertaining themselves. His wealthy, high-ranking acquaintances had a variety of hair colors, from polished brass to brown of a baby robin to the color of sunburned wheat. There was also much greater variation in skin tone compared to the visitors and residents of previous eras. But that was hardly any surprise, for the mansion set upon land inhabited largely by immigrants, the New World. New World? I thought we were in old Europe. Maybe this mansion can travel not only through time, but through space. Space! Sorry. What's the matter? What are you looking at? Nothing, I just thought I heard someone say my name. Ain't no one there, Jess, you are seeing a ghost. I don't believe in such nonsense. It's old house with a long history. Wouldn't be surprised if it had a ghost or two. But then the place gonna be haunted. I'll take a princess over bloody broad any day. A princess, huh? And when she showed up, you'd have your way with this ghost lady, am I right? Color me impressed, son. You'd dump her bones, and she don't even got any to jump. Come on now, that's hardly fair. Not much you can ever do with a ghost. Oh my god, you're mental children. This is my house, and I would rather you didn't talk about it like that. Just the blatherings of a couple of drunks. Pretend you didn't hear nothing. For the love of God. In any event, whatever happened to the printer you invested in? Printer? I haven't heard their name come up in some time. Can we please avoid the topic? It's been quite the headache for me. I thought I'd paid off, but it always sounded scratchy to me. I'd recommend you pull out unless you want to find yourself with nothing left but a nice fat pile of debt. You couldn't mention that beforehand? This is killing me. The men deep voice resonated in the cloudy room, and they imbibed alcohol and puffed on their cigars. They converted mostly about business and money. Jacopa and the rest of the men were a breed known as investors. You might also call them tacticians. Tacticians. They survived on information attained before no one else by making swift decisions and having foresight. Though, instead of flesh and bone, their soldiers were made of ink and paper. To an outsider, this meeting might appear to be a congregation of friends, but in reality they were observing one another, gathering information, and anything else they could use to get ahead. At times, money and information were exchanged directly, and where they were no longer on nation value to one another, the relationship would pop like a bubble and dissipate into nothing. But Jacopa, can't be sure this railroad you are so passionate about is gonna bear fruit neither. You don't even know if it get finished. And even if they do connect the tracks, will it really be in any shape for people to ride? It's a pipe dream, this transcontinental railroad of yours. Transcontinental. What kind of word is that? My face already hurt. Jacobo went silent, but I'm certain this is what was going through his head. You're a bunch of damned imbeciles if you can see that the entire country put their weight behind this endeavor. This is why you have so much trouble making even a few thousand. At the time, a great railway was being built across the breadth of the continent. Construction was spearheaded by two large rail companies in competition for both prestige and a bigger share of this massive national enterprise. The Union Pacific Railroad Company started building from the east and the Central Pacific Railroad Company from the west. But government bond alone were not enough to finance the massive undertaking. By the way, there've been some less than pleasant reports about workers dying on the door job for the company you choose, Central Pacific. How they are using explosive to blast through the mountains? Making quite a bang they are. But if this get to be much bigger of a fix, they're not gonna be able to continue construction. You should at least put your money in the more sure bet of the two, the Union Pacific. I'll cost you to hire replacement worker, and if they keep kicking the bucket, you're gonna have trouble finding more. My goodness, and here I thought you all had spines. You think we're gonna run out of workers just because of you ate it? There's so many we don't even know what to do with them all. There's not a chance then that the well will dry up. And if by some chance it does, all we have to do is scoop up a ship full of blacks or yellows. It sounds racist, but it's 19th century. Jacopo is not a really good man in general. You won't get anywhere if you spend your time worried about a few measly laborers. This endeavor backed by the entire nation. Their deaths are honorable in service of their country. Face. The biggest loss is not of people's lives, but of time. The longer a project takes, the most money it costs, and the less profit we make. What we seek is rapid progress, even the methods of to obtain is are messy or deadly. The other man in the room chuckled uncomfortably at Jacob's disaster. This distasteful choice of words. Do we agree with his way of thinking, Master? Perhaps he does have a point in that great sacrifice is necessary to accomplish great things. I don't know, so you. But at the time, yeah, people's lives was not so valuable, especially in these companies who try to achieve as much profit as possible with less effort. And most of the time, it became a problem to their workers, who was just these expendables, I guess. And it's true that tragedy often lies in the shadows of the splendor of times long past. Furthermore, the way people see the world changes with the times, so I hesitate to criticize him too severely. Now, as I'm sure you have already picked up on, he was an investor who had put money into a railroad company. He also possessed several crude oil refineries, riding on the world's second wave of industrial development. The mansion too bustled with life in a way it never had before. Dozens of maids, including me, gardeners, chefs, sculptors, artists. At times we even had writers coming in and out of the house. There was rarely a moment of silence. However, I was not terribly fond of the hustle and bustle personally. But please do not get me wrong, I am hardly opposed to the mansion being cheerful. It was just, how should I put it? The splendor of the time seemed superficial, heartless. It was as thought every was being rushed along by some unknown, invisible force. Part of it was, I expect, caused by the growing divide between those standing at the top and sitting at the bottom. Or perhaps the mansion was simply taken after its master. There's no time to waste. Everything is resting upon the success of this project. Whatever it takes, I will ensure it happens. I need more money and more power. Suddenly, a restrained knock on the door stopped his train of thought. From beyond the door came a woman's voice, gentle as a soft spring breeze. Pardon me, I have made some tea. May I offer everyone a cup? When the door opened, in it stood a beautiful woman with a pure white hair. You again. It was indeed her. Are you surprised? Or did you anticipate her appearance? Though she was not the same age and dressed differently, the white-haired girl whom you saw fall into the hands of misfortune in the era of Rosen and the era of the Beast was also present in this area of innovation. Furthermore, she was Jacob's wife. See, I don't recall asking for that. When were you asked to make it? I wasn't, but I had those leaves with the most wonderful aroma and I thought you might enjoy. Shut your trap and know your place. What do you think we are all these maids for? He definitely not a good person. Hey, now, no need to treat your lady like that. She was just trying to be courteous. Courteous, yeah. There are more personal affairs. Please keep your comments to yourself. His friends weren't sure how to react, but ultimately nobody stepped up to stop Jacopo. They merely shrugged, tossing glances at another. Jacopo stomped over to the white-haired girl. He then grabbed her by the arm and dragged her from the den. What the hell do you think you are doing? I've told you time and again to stay away from the room unless absolutely necessary. I'm sorry, but I made the tea and... Shut up and stay in about the tea already. You think we're having tea parties in the like a bunch of prissy nobles? I'm sorry. If you really feel so bad, don't go in there in the first place. Get the hell back to your room. I meant no harm. It's just I'm your wife. I thought it would be nice if I could do something. Like I've told you, that's not your job. Don't show yourself in front of the other man. I have nothing else to say to you. What the freak? Got it, now scram. 6 alive for them, now you. It's driving me up the wall. What is it? I told you to get out of here. Get out of here. Right, but What? When will you spend time with me next? It has been some time since we last went out together. But we don't even have to go out. Just having dinner together will... How many times are you gonna make me repeat myself, you worthless tramp? Are those ears only for show? Go back to your goddamn room. My apologies. I hate him already. He's just the worst. Maybe not that terrible as a beast who killed people. But closer to him, not the original family. Looking utterly downtrodden, the white-haired girl made her departure. But poor white-haired girl, again in trouble. Poor girl. Such a piteous sight she was. As he watched her go, Jacopo merrily snorted. Just thinking about the way he behaved then angers me. I have little fondness for men who do not treat their spouses with respect. So as you can see, the white-haired girl was in hardly a Joe's situation. She was devoted to Jacopo and tried to do whatever she could for him, but he not only brushed her aside, he did so in an insulting, deliberately hurtful manner. They were far from picturesque partners. Do you wonder then, Master, why she married him? The answer to the question will come to light in time. But I thought because of the money. Maybe she was a daughter of one broke man with the name, and this young perspective man get her to the marriage because of her name and status, but something like this, or maybe not. Let's find out. The answer to that question will come to the light in time. For now, let us follow her. Whew. And I think this is the perfect time to make the pause. Until next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me while I'm just trying to improve my English language, speaking and reading. And yeah, after 11 or 11 probably parts, I think it's not a bad idea. It wasn't not a bad idea because reading a straight hour in English, just my articulation constantly working. So yeah, I can read faster and faster, little by little. So yeah, reading on English out loud, it's not a bad practice at all. I reading books in that. For example, I returned to read Stephen King for last year probably. yeah, and I try to understand what this song is about, but it's probably just gibberish, and probably not in some language at all. So again, thank you for spending time with me. Until next time, bye bye.